Welcome to the new show, Almost 100. Ha! You're tuned in to Kaboom, man. Welcome to Almost 100. Yes, sir.
All right, everybody, welcome to our show.
I think we're going to be doing what we're doing right now. We're going to be doing like the intro, right? What's up? What's up? You already know what it is. This is your boy Knife. Welcome to another episode of Almost 100. You already know I got my host sitting over there.
LP82 was popping.
You know your boy Kaboom always.
And you already know we can't have a show, we can't have a popping show without a popping guest. So I want y'all to give it up for my boy, Edwin Johnson.
What it do? What's up, y'all? San Bernardino, stand up.
So what's up with you, Edwin? We know you work with the kids, we know you work with the community and all that. So basically we brought you on the show because we want to talk to you about relationships. Because I know you deal with kids,
Right.
and I know kids got a lot of problems at home because their parents' relationship.
Right.
How do you feel about that?
Man, when you talk about students and youth and like parents relationships, like from what I see like a lot of emulated behavior. You know, so like when I say like emulated behavior, it's like whether it's violence going on in the home, whether it's a lot of drinking, whether it's a lot of profanity. Some of these kids partake in those activities, right? Or there can be emulated behavior based off of parents not being home, or parents being absent or working, whatever the thing may be. You know what I'm saying? So even that itself is a behavior because kids don't have nobody to look up to. Like kids don't have nobody to be able to talk to, or even be able to vent or express themselves if they're having problems at school or having problems with teachers and stuff like that. So that's why I always say like it's important, like no matter what, like we always have to spend time with our children. Like whether it's the smallest times, like whenever you can. Like I mean, like I even see sometimes like when I go to the park, sometimes like I see like kids playing over there and their parents like sitting back. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like even in those moments, if we could just go push them on the swing or slide down the slide with them, act goofy with them, like act silly, like it's just important,
The smallest amount of interaction like really matters, like
right,
saying?
for real, right. And like even with those with those interactions, it's like kids, like those are long-term memories that kids will never forget. For example, like even with like my kids, like when I'm in the studio like doing music, or when I'm teaching some kids, or like just hanging out at the office, like I try to make my kids a part of my life and like what I'm doing, because you just never know, like maybe one of them is interested in music, and so just having that engagement like continuously is like very important, because like because I see some kids like you can just tell like they don't get that much attention at the house. You can just tell like they don't spend a lot of time with like their parents, or like they're not learning things, basic life skills.
Yeah, it really shows like the way kids react and stuff. You can really tell that instantly. Like,
Boom.
Right.
And one thing about boom. When you was growing up, like he had a stepdad in the house, and his stepdad used to treat him a certain type of way because mama used to treat him a certain type of way. Do you feel like that? Did that help you? Like, did it help you? Or?
Growing up, it kind of bothered me, whatever, maybe lash out and run away and do all the bad things that kids do. But once I grew up a little older, I realized like I don't let this dude determine on how I become or how my outcome or whatever. He just hated on me because he wasn't nothing in life. So I just put that shit aside and did what I had to do. But when I seen him later on in life as a grown man, he felt stupid when he was talking to me and stuff, like because he told me I wasn't going to be much, and I was way more than what he ever said I was going to be. So like I seen how stupid he looked, the looks on his face or whatever when we used to link up. I used to run into him and stuff, He just had to compliment, side compliments or whatever, But F that dude.
Right, and then like, and you know what, like that's crazy because like, even with things like that, like when parents are absent, or like they have a certain type of relationship with their child that may be negative, like my father, you know what I'm saying? Like my father's in prison right now, so he did like, maybe like, I mean, he's hoping to get out like next year, but like he's been down for like 23 years, you know what I'm saying? So even with like our bond that we had when he was around, to me it was negative. It was a negative because to me there was no happiness, there was no joy, and like people like to connect. Well, I buy my kids things, I take care of them financially, but that doesn't replace joy and happiness that you can get when you're interacting with the child. From a positive perspective. Like even me as a father, like I make mistakes sometimes. To where I have to check myself. Like, well, you know what? Like, let me be a little nicer to my son today. Like, I know I may be going through some stuff, but let me fix my attitude. And like a lot of parents don't do that. They go through the stressors in life. Which is natural. And then like the kid may get the short end of the stick because of that stressor that they're going through in life. But like even those interactions is could be bad. Mom, dad always act out.
Exactly.
I mean,
when I was a kid, I thought having a dad around was just like you said, unhappiness.
Right.
I thought when a dad come around, it's all unhappiness. It's not happy. When dad come around, it's strictness. And
right.
I didn't want a daddy around, I didn't have a daddy around.
Right.
So that do make a lot of sense what you're saying. Like, daddies can make your life miserable.
Right. No, because it's that, because like, especially like African American and like brown men, like, like we were raised like to have that dominant personality, what I'm saying? Like that dominant, to be that dominant being, and so like, because we were sometimes raised like that, or we didn't have a father, how we treat our kids is based off of what we know. So how we treat our sons is like, oh, he has to be tough, he has to be hard, he can't be a coward, he can't be these things, or he can't cry. What I'm saying? Like I hear fathers telling their kids like, you better not cry. Like it's okay for your son to cry. What I'm saying? Like it's okay for your son to cry, and if he falling and he hurt and he got a scratch on his leg.
So they need a way to express their anger. Some people don't want to express their anger and do some dumb stuff.
Right, and we got to teach them that early. What I'm saying? Because it's important to like teach them that early, because as we grow up, like we come up with that with those personalities. It's like, well, like we have to be prideful. We can't cry. We can't express ourselves. We can't talk about how we're feeling, and that starts from a young age. What I'm saying? Like that starts from from people that's in our lives telling us like, well, like men is supposed to do this, men is supposed to be a certain way, but nah, like you gotta express yourself as a man. What I'm saying? Like you gotta teach your kids to express yourself. So like I always say, like if people came from like a horrible family dynamics, it's important that we unlearn what we've been through. What I'm saying? Like we gotta unlearn what we've been through and be able to teach kids based off of love. That's the foundation. What I'm saying? You got to love on your kid, whether it's tough love, whether it's happy love, but everything has to end in love, because if not, kids don't feel love.
Exactly. LP82, you got a son, like, that's in a house full of all girls. Like, how was that raising a boy in a house full of all girls? Like, do you got to show him tough love? You got to show him, how's that?
Yes, by him being around girls, sometimes I find myself being way harder on him. And I may not do it intentionally. Maybe like it's in the back of my mind. I'm thinking about it when I'm saying it to him, like or stop being like this. Sometimes I do have to catch myself like, damn, like he is only 4 years old. What I'm saying? But in the back of my mind, it's like I know when I'm not around, he got 2 sisters, and then when my daughter is around, 3 sisters, and his mom that's always come here, let me hold you, or stuff like that. So it is a struggle. It is kind of hard to check myself when I'm in the moment, like, sit your ass down, man, stop acting like that. Then I'd be like, come here, this, I gotta explain to him, this is why daddy talking to you like this,
right,
man, you gotta,
right.
You know what I'm saying? But sometimes it's hard because it's in the moment.
Yeah.
So it is kind of tough.
Yeah. And it can, and like it really can be difficult. Like I can relate to that, because it's like my son lives in Vegas, but he's in a house full of girls. So like I see him often, but not as often as I want to see him.
Yeah. Right.
And so like when I'm around his mom, I can just tell like the interaction is different. Like as far as like he's more loving towards her. He's more affectionate towards her, and so for me growing up, it was like I was taught to not be affectionate because my dad wasn't affectionate. I was taught that because so my dad wouldn't even kiss me on the cheek. You know what I'm saying? Like, or even hug me or like level me and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like when I'm asleep, like not even lay on him. You know what I mean? Because he was taught you can't be affectionate towards a boy because it's gonna make him soft or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And so just like I said, like while you're unlearning is like you have to be affectionate towards your son. You You know what I'm saying? You got to. You know, you got to kiss your son on the cheek. You know, you got to be able to, you know, pick him up, you know, when he cries and like, man, it's going to be all right, son, don't cry. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like, I see dads that be like, get your ass over there and stop crying. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like, man, he just completely fell off the slide just now.
I found myself doing that. I ain't gonna lie, man. Get your ass up.
I know, I've been doing it too, but I don't I just like, get up, you good. But if it really hurt, like, he's still a baby, so I can get up.
Right. Right.
One thing I do a lot as a father, you know, like say like I go hard on one of my sons or whatever, or discipline them or say something to him that I feel I was a little over the top with. Like after it's over, I'll be fighting myself inside. Like man, I should like man, go grab that boy and apologize to him or tell him you love him. But I'll be fighting myself to not do it because like you're not supposed to do that. He's supposed to feel that. But I really be like having a battle on the inside, like to want to go grab him, show him some love, or just like let him take that lesson how I taught it to him. Like really be like a struggle inside of me, man.
Where do you think that came from?
I think from a lot from what you said, like you know, like you can't be showing them too much love, or you can't be like being too soft with them because you don't want them to be like no little weenie or nothing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I'm getting better with it. And before I just did it and didn't realize it. Now I'm actually having these battles with myself on the inside to show them that love. Next step is bring your little ass here, man. I'm sorry, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You can't be acting like no little weenie. You feel me?
Right. Right. And it's like that, man, because like you know, like I mean, because like I'm very like observant. So my oldest son and his mom, like their communication is even different. Why? Because he spends more time with her, of course, but at the same time, it's like, you know, I had to open up that door for him to communicate with me like he communicates with her.